What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled Is Education Overrated? I did the video on Robert Smith yesterday. Still salute. I talked to my aunt, and she went to a college graduation, and she saw some of the things people were graduating in, and she was like, this is useless. People are going to school to get degrees in this. I'm not going to say, well, I ain't got to say the school, because she's an educator. So she went to a graduation, and you could get a degree in leadership. She's like, what is leadership going to do for you? And me and her got to talking about education and life in general, and how, everybody wants to get an education as an ego trip. I'm educated, but that doesn't mean it's useful. I went to college, I got a degree, but that doesn't mean it's useful. When people used to send children to school, the parents sent them to school with a plan. You're not going to go and be a liberal arts major. To a degree, I'm using my degree on YouTube technically, because I got a degree in psychology, if y'all don't know that. Psych, I know some people. But this is the thing. People are going to school to say they got an education, and they're not looking at the practical application of the debt involved. And it's people who got educations, they go get a certification in something, and it's less than a degree. You ain't got to go get your master's, PhD. You got to keep getting stuff like that. You could just work, get a certification, get a bump in pay. That's all you got to do. But some people are using education as a crutch. And this is why I'm saying, is education overrated? Because, of course, the price of education is inflated astronomically from what it was 20, 30 years ago. I'm fortunate, though, because I did things. I was a little bit smart and savvy when I went to college, and I had help, and I didn't have much debt when I graduated, and I paid off my debt relatively fast. But even that being said, life ain't no crystal stair, right? So I can imagine the people who have student loan debt on top of everything they have, which is problematic. To me, I don't know what to say, because the more and more I look at it, I'm not sure if education is the route for everybody. Maybe, now I get what the older people were saying. If you don't want to go to college, go to the military. The military pays. You can get you a GI Bill. You can stack your money. You can travel. You might get shot at, but who knows? Depending on what branch you go in. But if you've already got an education before you go get an education. And part of the reason I'm saying that is because I didn't realize how many people avoided STEM. I wouldn't have. The only reason I picked psychology because I got an interest for it in high school. It was actually my favorite class. It's actually what it intrigued me the most. At the time, psychology was number one when I was in high school. Number two would have been chemistry. Number 3 was a physics honors class. But I was sick the year I took the class. Like I had walking pneumonia. So I got like a C in the class. But I literally had walking pneumonia the whole fucking time I had the class. I was coughing up blood every morning. So I don't really know how good I could have been at it because I wasn't 100%. But I was well when I took psychology, and I just like, oh, this is dope. But here's the thing. I'm seeing so many people, adults, I'm not even worried about the young adults and the kids who just want to say they went to school. Like I had an older cousin he graduated college 10 years before me, and I graduated 10 years later. And he was a professional football player, but he got his degree in like industrial engineering, if I'm not mistaken. So he's an engineer. You know what I'm saying? The problem with is it a problem with that? Absolutely not. I mean, obviously life took him in a different direction, but he knew about the STEM stuff because I didn't. I didn't, like, when it was my turn to go to college, I didn't really have people in my ear telling me which direction to go in. They were just glad I was going to be grown and got out the house. That was pretty much the gist of it. But when I get into, adult life and the real world and stuff, I see more and more people who just like the idea that you can say that you went to school. Like the idea that you say you have a postdoctorate, postgraduate degree, I'm sorry. Or you graduated, or then they say which school, or this, that, and the third. And it's more about prestige, but not necessarily about intelligence. And I went to HBCU. I actually went to 2. Shout out to Southern University. Shout out to Texas Southern University. Here's the thing I learned as soon as I got to Southern. There was a rental bookstore right across the street from Southern's campus at the time. Students from LSU and Southern would go to this rental bookstore to rent the books. So if you had these courses in these subjects, you had the same books. When I got to Texas Southern, it's the same thing. Because the University of Houston is across the street from Texas Southern. Same books. And to a degree, depending on, that also goes for rights in certain fields. In certain fields of study. So, it's like, wait a minute. And I'm going to tell you this real quick. One of the things I learned when I was in college, it was an influx of white kids going to HBCUs because they found out they was getting the same education because of that stuff, but just for a lesser price. I was working out, and there was a white dude who played basketball at my cousin's alma mater, and he went to an HBCU. And it's weird to see. I was like, wait, Playboy. That's a Mississippi Valley State University shirt. Wait a minute, Playboy cousin. Shout out to the Delta Devils. I actually got the jacket in the house somewhere. But that's the thing. Like, we don't want to talk about, what price are we putting on education? Is education actually for your betterment as far as economically? Or is it are you clout chasing? Because what it looks like now, clout chasing is making education irrelevant. Plus, people, the scandal that they had recently was another problem. And also so many students who were graduating and moving back home with their parents. That lets me know that you really didn't go to school to take on the real world. I mean, and your family didn't prepare you for what was ahead. Whether they never told you anything. Because I know mine really never told me anything. That's why I said I was savvy. Like, the reason why I had little student loan debt is because I didn't like school like that. I looked at school as a business. I didn't go as this education. I looked at it like I'm gonna get an education, but this is a business. How much is this a semester? How much? What is the difference? The difference between in-state and out-of-state? What is the difference between living on campus and off campus? What are the options of living on campus and off campus? What are the bills? What is? Let me see that food budget. How much am I paying for food for 3-4 months? I don't pay that much for food. I can cook my own food. Like I really went down, to the economic side of it, and let me get rid of all that. And it worked out in my favor, But other people don't look at it like that, using student loans to go spring break and then kicking and then buying cars and shit like that, and using your refund to finance yourself and your life, and then when you graduate, you're in this huge hole that you don't know how to get out of. So that's all I was thinking about this one. So like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. I'm gonna start doing some different things in the next week or two. So we gonna get down. Peace.